Hey guys, welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to document this project that I'm going to be working on, and this is going to be building a natural swimming pool, swim pond, recreation pond. There's multiple names for it, but it's all essentially the same thing. The style of pond that I'm creating is emulated from the Aquascape style of building a pond. So if you're familiar with their videos, that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I'm not a professional, just a normal guy, normal homeowner that wants to have a nice, beautiful area in my backyard to emulate nature. So I just kind of want to walk you guys through this process. This is probably going to be a few month process for me, as I'm going to be doing a lot of the work myself. So we live here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area here in North Texas. We live on about 1/4 of an acre. So not a huge yard by any means, but I just kind of want to talk to you guys about what this project's all about. So a lot of people ask what a swim pond is, why I'm building one. They get concerned about the green water and algae and all that stuff. So I kind of want to just address a few of those points. So what differentiates a recreation pond or a natural swimming pool from a normal swimming pool is the lack of using any harsh chemicals like chlorine. So these ponds are filtered mechanically and biologically. So the mechanical filtration is going to consist of your intake bay or negative edge or skimmer. I'm going to be utilizing an intake bay in my pond because that's what works best for my area. So what this area does is it's going to draw in all of the debris that lands on the pond. It's going to pull it into one area so that you can remove that debris. A lot of what causes these issues with algae and green water is an excess of nutrients. So you're trying to get a lot of that leaf debris out so that you're not having these nutrients breaking down in the water and causing algae. The other way it's filtered is biologically, and that's going to be your beneficial bacteria that's going to build on the rock and gravel inside the pond, and most notably in the wetland filters. So a wetland filter or a bog filter is a filter that utilizes different gradients of rock and gravel, where the water is going to be pumped to the bottom of this filter. It's going to percolate up through the rock and gravel and return to the pond. This is done with waterfalls or streams or however you choose to do it. Now, these wetland filters will build beneficial bacteria on all this rock and gravel. You'll also plant these areas with water-loving plants, and these plants will pull more nutrients out of the water to give you a cleaner water quality. These are ecosystem ponds, so it's normal to have some green algae-like material on the rocks. This is good. The thing you're trying to avoid is the green water that you can't see through. It's just murky and messy, and that's not what you want, right? No one wants to swim in that. So these ponds can have fish, or they don't have to have fish. I'm gonna have some goldfish in my pond, and again, it's just part of the ecosystem, right? So it's like our ponds and lakes in nature. So I got the idea for doing this project by watching all of the Aquascape videos and the different contractors that utilize the Aquascape equipment. You've got Team Aquascape, you've got Greg Whitstock, the pond guy, You've got Alan Decker, Atlantis Water Gardens, Modern Design Aquascaping. There's tons of guys out there putting out awesome material on these ponds, and I found it really inspirational. It's very captivating for me when I watch these projects, and to see how much joy people get out of these ponds really inspired me, and it's something that I want to create for my family. So that's why I decided to do this project. Again, this is going to be probably a 3-month project for me. It's going to be a big learning curve. I don't have any special knowledge or talent or really any major experience with these ponds. You can see the pond just behind me. That is the first pond that I built about 1.5 years ago. But outside of that, and watching some YouTube videos, I don't have a ton of experience with this. So if I say anything that is incorrect, feel free to correct me in the comments. If you have any questions, I can try to answer them. But let me walk you guys around the backyard and kind of show you what we're going to be doing here. So as you walk out my back door, you come out onto our patio area. Like I said, we're on a little bit over 1/4 acre, so not a huge piece of land, but not the smallest. We'll start on this side. This is my initial pond. I built this about 1.5 years ago. It's about 10 feet long, 8 feet wide, and about 1.5 feet deep. We've got 9 goldfish in there currently, and you can see how clear that water is. So again, no heavy chemicals in this water. I haven't done anything to it really since the springtime. Unfortunately, this pond is going to be taken out when we do the new project, but the fish will be they'll be looking forward to a better home here in the next few months. So the initial plans were to have the new pond on this side of the yard. You can still see the lines drawn out in the grass. It is winter time here. That's why everything's dead. This whole area looks a lot nicer in the spring, summer, and fall when everything's green. So our fire pit area used to be back in this area, which we're going to be relocating to the new pond. So you can kind of see a black line drawn out. This is very, very rough draft for this, but everything to the right side will remain grass, and everything to the left side will be the pond area. So the first thing we did is I had a neighbor help me move our shed from the back corner of the yard to this side to create some space. So let me kind of walk you guys through what we're going to be doing. So again, everything here will be taken out. All the grass will be taken out. We'll eventually have a walkway heading up this side as well as the other side. It'll be about 30 feet long from this side to the end over there. This is going to be a small beach area that you can kind of ease into. The pond is going to be 5 feet deep at its deepest point, which will be somewhere in the middle here. We'll have probably about a 10 foot by 12 foot, 5 foot deep section, which will come up into a 4 foot deep area, which will be out in this area. And then around the sides will be about 2 feet deep. Part of the reason for tiering it like that is to make it easier to stack these rocks. All of the liner will be covered with rock and gravel, so you need to make sure everything's sturdy, and you know you're gonna have people climbing on these, so you don't want rock falling over or anything like that. So that's why we tier it. The wetland filters that I talked about, we're gonna have one on this side and one on the other side. This one will be a little bit bigger. We're gonna go for about a 10 foot by 8 foot wetland filter. So again, the water will percolate up from the bottom of it. You'll have a pooling area, and that water will be falling back into the pond through a series of waterfalls or a stream. We'll also have plants in this area. Right here in the middle, we're gonna have a fire pit area with a seating area around it. The other wetland will come from around this side. Again, all this needs to be taken out, so I'm sorry for the mess, but we'll get that taken care of here pretty soon. Right along this back end, we're gonna have about a 10 foot by 8 foot deck that will slightly cantilever over the water with a little bit of a pergola area. And then the intake bay will be right around this area. So all the debris that falls into the pond will be sucked into the intake bay, and it'll be netted out to get rid of those nutrients. We'll have to run some French drains along the back of the property. We get a lot of water pooling in this area, which obviously we do not want. The pumps are going to sit somewhere back in this area. All the trash cans and such will be moved to the other side of the yard. And we will be running 220 volt power to the backyard so that we can run these pumps. We'll have a pathway leading along the side to the future deck. So this is kind of just the overview here. Some of these things might change a little bit, but for the most part, this is what we've got. So next step is gonna be, cleaning everything up from the back and then just getting everything prepared. I'm gonna be running an excavator, hauling off a bunch of dirt. We've got to order liner and all that stuff. So I'll be walking you guys through this process. This is probably gonna take me a few months. A lot of it's gonna be weather dependent, but here it is. So I'm excited, and hopefully you guys tune in.